it's a non-stop grind for them. You know, I just read an article the other day where the University of Miami, Coach Rick, just offered an 8th grader. Now, that might be pushing it a little bit. Offering an 8th grader, you know, this whole offering piece sometimes can be a gift and a curse. I'm waiting for the day when an 8th grader or 9th grader gets an offer and then goes right to that coach and says, Coach, I'm committed to your university. Now, is that university going to honor it? Are they going to continue to recruit that kid for the next 4 years? It's yet to be seen, but eventually it's going to happen. But anyway, in this recruiting process, college coaches reach out to many, contact some, and sign a handful. This, my friends, is called a recruiting funnel. The recruiting funnel for Division I football is a large open gap at the beginning with a small, minute bottom. And let me give you some numbers. One of my favorite rap artists is Jay-Z, and he has a line he talks about in one of his songs, and he says, men lie, women lie, but numbers don't. And this graphic I'm putting up right here is a perfect example of that quote right there. 250,000 high school students play football across the country. 250,000. And I'd be hard to say, or I'd probably guess to say that more than half of them would like to have the opportunity to play college football. So this whole process for the college level starts because they have an idea or they hear about a prospect. So they'll send out as many as 10 to 12,000 letters each week. That's a lot of daggone mail. And sometimes it's just to reach some of the kids that you just heard a name about, they may not have even seen in person. So as this process continues on, about 1,500 of those athletes get evaluated at the Division I level. And then from there, the coaches will decide who they want to contact. And that number comes out roughly to maybe about 500 kids per school. And then that's when the seriousness kicks in. Because after those about 500 contact periods that they make, they'll start phone calling, they'll start DMing, they'll start following players on Facebook or following them on Twitter. And they'll try to narrow it down between, you know, I know schools that have offered 65 scholarships or given out offers of 65 kids. I've known schools that's given out over 100 offers. It all depends upon the program and what they're looking to bring in and their needs for their program. But once you get to that number of offers that they have had, they'll narrow that down to about 85 official offers or official visits. Now, there's official visits and there's unofficial visits. And I think a lot of you that are in the football scheme of things understand it too. An unofficial visit is when a kid might go to campus for a camp, or he may go for a game during the season. And for the most part, that is on the parents' dime. Now, an official visit is where most of the time the kids have already had an offer and they're trying to decide, is this the right fit for them? And on an official visit, that school or that institution will pay for everything, depending upon your travel, food, hotel, gas money, and so on and so forth. So they get to about 85 kids that may have an official offer. In some years, they may not have 85 to come for an official visit. In some years, they may have. Now again, I'm talking about Division I. Finally, after those 85 official visits, they'll probably narrow it down to 25 signees. In any given year, some schools may sign 12 to 15, depending upon their needs. In other years, they may sign 25 to 30. It all depends upon what they need at the time. But basically, what I'm getting at is it truly is a funnel when it comes to recruiting. The numbers make it obvious, and this is why you have to pursue colleges and you have to take advantage of this opportunity. Everybody's recruiting process is different, and yours is a finite amount of time that you have to get this right. You know, that recruiting door is only so big. So therefore, we want to take advantage of every opportunity we can. The one bit of advice I give to parents and players is don't waste your time. And what I mean several things by that. Number one, I always tell my players, if a school has interest in you, then you are going to have interest in them. Say the same thing to the parents. I don't care if it's Division I, Division I AA, Division II, Division III, because ultimately you want to go to school where you're wanted. You're going to go to school where they pursued you. You're going to run a school where they have a vested interest in you. So sometimes you don't want to waste your time, with a school that hasn't contacted you, hasn't been back in touch with you. You keep reaching out to them and they don't get back to you, because in the meantime, there's other schools that may have a serious interest in you, but you don't want to blow them off. And parents, this is the toughest part. This is where you have to come in and say, you know what, Mikey, this is what we're going to do. The other piece is this. When going on visits and unofficial visits, it can be pretty cost effective, or it can be pretty expensive. And that's where it comes back to saying, also being tough, finding out, is there a genuine interest in this school? Is there an offer that's going to come? Because the whole process of attending junior days and going to games, you're pretty much going to see the same thing. And you're going to get to the point where you're going to have to narrow it down and be serious about where you want to go, what schools you want to go visit, and what schools you think are the right fit for you. Finally, just be persistent. NCAA rules do not allow coaches to call you back. So if you reach out to contact them, you have to leave a message and go from there. But in this day and age, social media has made it an awesome piece to try to communicate with those coaches that you were trying to reach out to, or from the list that you have made. Also with Facebook and Twitter. So the recruiting funnel. The numbers start big and they end small. It's like I said, they recruit a lot and only choose a few. Hopefully your process goes real good. Follow some of the steps that I've given you, and remember to be patient and to respect the process. This is Coach Joe. Remember to keep it real, and like I always say, respect the process.
Thank you for watching my daddy's video. Remember to like, share, and subscribe.